A story like we do, specializing in live broadcasting, promo reels, film, and social media. No matter the story, we've got you covered with some of the best professionals in the industry. Your story is our mission. Find us on the web at brickcitycreativegroup.com or on Facebook at Brick City Creatives.
Tick-tock. The days fly by, and we find tax season is upon us once again. Not to worry, though. With a reputable CPA firm on your side, you can rest assured that all of your needs will be handled in a professional and thorough manner. Robson, Scribner & Stewart is just that firm. They're there for their clients year-round, not just during tax season, to handle your needs and answer any questions you may encounter. At Robson, Scribner & Stewart, there is no client too small or too large. Their expertise ranges from the single individual to the largest of corporations. Get your return prepared by a professional who will use their years of experience to ensure that your tax returns outcome will leave you in the best possible position. Call them today at 694-4184. Robson, Scribner & Stewart. They're there for you today. Again, that number is 694-4184. Time is of the essence, so don't delay. 694-4184.
Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first Wednesday of each month at 9:30 to Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion, and learn how they can help you.
The next Higher Education Happenings radio show with the College of Central Florida will be Thursday, January 21st at 8:35 a.m. We will discuss the need for first responders and CF's new critical transport program. Rod McGinnis, Associate Dean of Health Sciences, will be our guest to describe the options available to students who are looking to be a frontline healthcare worker. Brought to you by the College of Central Florida and WOCA, The Source.
Think you know Dex Imaging? Think again. In the office, streamlining communications. In the field, delivering top-notch service, enhancing productivity, and reducing downtime. In the data center, a part of the growing digital document revolution. In the world of business, supporting entrepreneurs and helping companies grow. In the forefront of technology, developing cutting-edge document management solutions. So if you think you know Dex Imaging, you don't know Dex.
On Friday, January the 15th at 8:35, my guest will be Robert Cooper and Steve Blank of 0 Hour Life Center, a recovery community organization. We'll learn about the RCO and the many services they provide. There is hope for the hopeless, and there is life after addiction. Recovery is possible. We all know someone who can be helped by the RCO, so tune in at 8:35 Friday, January 15th. This is a vital information for our community brought to you by 0 Hour Life Center and your friends here at WOCA, The Source.
Now you did it. Are you completely insane? He's back. He, who must not be named, the man, the myth, the only guy in Ocala to eat his own weight in fried pickles. Twice. Now, you asked for it. Sorta. Live and in person. It's Tom Schmitz.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks on a Wednesday, an overcast, chilly Wednesday. Highs only going to be up in the 50s today, with the lows in the high 30s tonight. Get back to warming up towards Friday Friday and Saturday as we get back towards 70-degree weather. But we're in that schizophrenic area of weather in Florida, where one day it could be hot, one day it could be cold, and one day you could experience all four seasons in one day. You could wake up, it'd be winter. By 11 in the morning, it'd be springtime. 3 in the afternoon, it'd be summer. 7 o'clock in the evening, it's fall, and then at midnight, it's winter again. Hey, the FBI has put out a warning that says there are plans for nationwide armed protests next week of the inauguration. An internal FBI bulletin warned that the nationwide protests may start later this week and extend through Biden's January 20th inauguration. Investigators believe some of the people are members of extremist groups. Armed protests are being planned at all 50 state capitals from January 16th through January 20th, at the U.S. Capitol from January 17th to January 20th, this according to the FBI bulletin. The officials are not authorized to speak publicly because, it's an ongoing situation. You know how that is. They also issued one other bulletin they got out to law enforcement nationwide before the riots last week. That bulletin, 2 days before the new year, warned that there was a potential for armed demonstrators to target the Capitol building. The FBI says it wasn't focused on peaceful protests, but on those threatening their safety and the safety of other citizens with violence and destruction of property. No, you're not. If that was the case, you wouldn't have allowed a group to take over downtown Seattle for 12 weeks. If you were worried about safety of other citizens and violence and destruction of property, you would have let 2 police precincts and a federal building be overtaken and burned down last summer. If that was the case, you wouldn't have allowed Antifa members to attack pro-Trump demonstrators all across the country last summer, hitting them with skateboards and everything, although one kid in Wisconsin had enough. You beat him up enough, he kills you.
Not to mention the hundreds of millions of dollars of property damage.
Hundreds of millions. I mean, it says right here, we're doing this for the safety of our citizens with the safety of other citizens through violence and destruction of property. Hello, anytime you bust the doors down of Target, go in, ransack the place, and leave with televisions, clothes, food, stuff like that, you're destroying property. I don't remember the FBI looking at so much surveillance video to be able to arrest 100 people as quickly as they've arrested 100 people at the Capitol building. And by the way, I'm not saying what those morons did last week at the Capitol building was smart. They should be prosecuted. I'm so okay with some of those people being prosecuted. The guy that was taking the riot shield and busting the window down, and the guy that took the lectern and was running around the halls, the guy that put his feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk and left her a note that we're not done here. People that were taking selfies in the Congress chamber up at where the vice president and the Speaker of the House would sit. Those people need to go to jail. I have no problem with that. I don't think any Republican has a problem with that. And you can say these were Antifa dressed like Donald Trump supporters, or it was Donald Trump supporters. Look, folks, most of the people there were Donald Trump supporters. Do I think there was a spackling of Antifa that were probably there to keep this, stirred up? Of course, that's how you do things. There were professional agitators there, but both sides have professional agitators, by the way. Those people should go to jail. But so should anybody that was involved in the riots and the destruction of property all last summer under the Black Lives Matter movement.
If you're going to prosecute, you definitely have to pick, or you can't pick and choose.
No.
Who you're going to prosecute. You're not going to prosecute.
You got to send them all to jail. They all are thugs who destroyed property. Hi, caller. Who's this?
Hi, it's Sonny again. Was it in 1798? George Washington sent the
Whiskey Rebellion
detachment. Yeah, the Whiskey Rebellion into Pennsylvania to get these people to pay their taxes, which they weren't paying taxes. So right there is the precedent for our president to send people into Oregon or wherever where these riots were taking place. And the local governments were incapable of handling it. So, I wish, like you said, I wish people would read their history books a little bit and remember some of this stuff. But the precedent was already set by George Washington to send federal troops into a state to correct matters, if you want to put it that way. And it's really, I just can't comprehend how these people are operating today. To me, we don't have a Democrat Party. We have a Demorat Party that doesn't care about the people. Democrats used to care about the people, not the Demorats. the Republican Party is the party of nothing. So to me, it looks like you have the Democrats and the wannabe Democrats, known as Republicrats. But anyway, have a good day.
Thanks, Sonny. Hey, Sonny he doesn't mince words. The Democrats and the do-nothing wannabe Democrats, Republicans. Sonny doesn't mince his words. He doesn't mince. And, I have a feeling that a lot of people agree with Sonny on one point, that the powers that be in Washington, whether it be Democrat or Republican, have to go. There's two words: term limits. If it's good enough for George Washington, bringing up George Washington, he served 2 terms. After that, he said, I don't need to serve more than that. I'm not a king. I'm a citizen. I'm going back to my life as a private citizen. He served 2 terms as president. We let George Washington set the bar for everything else in this country. Why not for how long a politician can stay in office? And the reason is they're not going to vote themselves out of work. It's going to take a constitutional amendment. How hard, Henry? If you don't know, we'll need to look it up. I wonder how hard the process of getting started to get the vote, get the signatures and all for a constitutional amendment is.
I don't know the specifics.
In Florida, you got to get a certain amount of signatures, and then it ends up on the ballot.
Yeah, you need a certain amount of signatures, it'll end up on the ballot, and then it needs a certain amount of votes.
Right. But I believe if you put on a national scale, if you put term limits on the U.S. House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate, and you brought that up for a vote, it would win in a landslide.
I think it'd be on the ballot, and people would vote. And
I don't even think it'd be close. Yeah. I think it would be a landslide victory for term limits, because there's no reason. Okay, let this sink in for a minute. Now, regardless of whether you agree with Joe Biden's politics or you don't agree with Joe Biden's politics, just Joe Biden, the person, at the end of his first term as president, 4 years from now, he will have been in Washington for 51 years. At the end of his first term as president, he will have been an official in Washington for 5 decades plus 1 year. What?
That's, just as a point of reference, is more than double of my age.
It's only 3 years younger than me. At the end of his time, now I'll be 58. So he first went to Washington. You ready for this? I was 7 years old, 1973. Was your mom born in 70? Yeah, she was born in 73. She was.
Yeah. She was
but
like.
She wasn't very old.
Seven,
she was like
6, 7.
6. Yeah, because she's the same age as me. That's right. So she was 6 or 7. We were small children. Your mom and I were small children when Joe Biden got to Washington. We were in elementary school, and just barely in elementary school, when Joe Biden got to Washington. Hey, don't think it's only Joe Biden. Mitch McConnell, been there since the 70s. Nancy Pelosi, been there since the 80s. Robert Byrd was the longest serving senator, and he had served all the way through the civil rights era and everything up until the 90s. He was 90-something years old when he finally left the Senate. Democrat, who, by the way, at one time was a grand wizard of the KKK and is a very good close ally of the Clintons while they were in office. I'm just saying, just point out facts. But something's got to give with how long people can stay in Washington. I saw, and it's all public records. You can go look and see just how much a person was worth when they first get to Washington and how much they're worth. Go pull their tax reports, because it's all public record from like 5 years after they get to Washington. It's amazing, some of the money differences. And I won't say any names, but there's a representative from Florida that went to Washington, the net worth of their family was about $700,000 when they got to Washington. Their net worth is now almost $4 million. They're in the U.S. House. They're only making like $130,000 a year.
I was going to say, it can't be that much on the books.
Okay. And yet, they've increased their wealth 4 times over. Don't tell me people don't go to Washington because they see a chance to become millionaires. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up a Wednesday version of Ocala Talks. You're listening to Tom Schmitz and Henry Mailer on 1370 AM, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my
too.
seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line and a new spoiler and a new truck.
Yep, we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too.
Well, as a matter of fact, join me, Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Automotive, every Tuesday at 10 for auto repair with personal care right here on The Source.
Attention passengers for Flight 1370. The plane has been delayed at its departure point and will be at least 2 hours late. We apologize for any inconvenience.
Are you serious? It took us over an hour to get here, 2 hours going through security and getting our tickets, and now we have to wait another 2 hours.
Yeah, it's beautiful here, but we're inside this overcrowded airport all day because the plane is stuck in bad weather.
This is the last time we ever do this. When we get back, we're going to Ocala Aviation and getting our pilot's license.
Yeah, we've been talking about that long enough. It's about time we did it. Then we could just fly ourselves and never have to deal with this mess again.
Right. No long lines, no full body groping security, no baggage checks.
Not to mention never losing your luggage. Remind me again why we haven't done that?
Well, we're idiots.
Oh, right.
Attention all passengers for Flight 1370. It looks like the plane is going to be delayed a little bit longer. The airline has lost the pilot's luggage. Isn't it time you got your pilot's license? Call Ocala Aviation today. 352-861-7484. That's 352-861-7484. Hey, you've earned it. Call today.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY only $4.99.